Welcome to Voice of Reason.
Now, it's good having you join us on the program once again today. This is a special live interview session, courtesy Voice of Reason. And I'm Hanulwapo of Moride. Now, today we want to talk about education, what it was in the past, what it is today, and what it ought to be. Education has been defined as the bedrock of development in any given nation. But unfortunately, many people have argued that in terms of educational advancement and development, Nigeria is not where it ought to be. All right? How else do you explain this fact when for the past 5 months, students at tertiary institutions, they've been at home? Now, I have with me this afternoon one man who is fortunate to be the first student to serve as the vice chancellor of his institution. I'm talking of one of the notable institutions in Nigeria, perhaps an institution that boasts of the most beautiful campus in Nigeria. Okay, that is that is debatable anyway, but some persons will say, no, give it to OAU. I have with me Professor Wale Omole. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. I welcome you.
And happy birthday in advance, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Your time also can. At its own right time.
And amen to that prayer. And to everyone that is a member of the crew today. Now, let's start this way. Education in Nigeria. When you look at what it is today, you served as the vice chancellor of the famous Obafemi Awolowo University some years back. Did you at any time see this time coming, as at the time you were at, the aims of affairs at the Obafemi Awolowo University? Did you envisage a time like this?
Thank you. I always say it is God. Because really, I can't take any credit for all that happened. I didn't want to be a student of Ife. Really. I was sent from the school of agriculture because I was a student leader. And they thought I caused all the trouble. But before they knew it, Ife was just established about the same week. You know that is God. So if I take credit for something that is only God that created. So I didn't look at it. I didn't see it coming. But again, God gave me the enablement to do what I thought through and then to do what I think was going to help the system.
You did that at that time?
Oh, throughout.
Okay, so when you served as the vice chancellor
Yes.
of the Obafemi Awolowo University, of course, there were times that the institution had to go on strike, courtesy, ASU and all that. But did you envisage that at the time it would degenerate to what it is? Because many people would say that the standard has fallen.
Yeah, I will agree with the standard falling. But again, it's up to us. What's us? We were running the university. It is very important. Many times, actually, I was labeled as vice chancellor. Now, you have to do the right thing. You can lose your job, but you shouldn't lose your conscience. So that was important for me. As a matter of fact, I even had a parallel with Abacha. You have to see what is right because the students are our children. Don't just look at them as students. No, they were students. I started a program that every student in Ife, whatever they came to do, they must take at least 2 courses in computer science. Computer. And even the minister said, no, the students said they didn't apply for that. I had to inform the minister. These children are mine. There will be no language for them in the future.
You saw it.
Oh, it was easy to see. I built the first computer science in Africa, in Ife. You can see it. If you are so careful about not losing your job, you won't do it. But what's your job? Your job is to develop your children. That's it. So really, I mean, it was a big issue all over Africa. So really, it is up to you. Many times, if I was really always a university in trouble, I always said, I either run into trouble or trouble runs into me. Till today, that's my life. If you have to get something done, please get it done. Your life won't come twice. You won't die twice. So these are the issues. I'm not blaming the people there and the students. We don't have a government. Note that.
We don't have a government.
We don't have a government.
Is that your submission?
Oh, yes.
When you look at the state of education today,
The state of everything.
the state of everything,
We don't have a government.
let's come back to what it was. You know, especially in the southwest region of the country, we're talking of a region that first gave free education. We're talking of a region that produced, notable dignitaries that served this country meritoriously. You're one of them. So let's look at what it was in the past that propelled all of these achievements at that time. Let's take us down the memory lane.
Thank you for all those questions. The answer is so simple. We had governments who loved human beings at that time. We don't anymore. You have to love human beings to sacrifice. There was no sacrifice. There's no sacrifice anymore today. Nobody cares about God, human beings anymore. Talking about students at home for 5 months. Isn't that disgraceful? What is happening to all those students for that period? It's so disgraceful. That's why I said that we really don't have a government. We don't have a government. I have said this many, many, many times. I retired 23 years ago. Really, I've been saying so before I retired. And it's getting worse by the day.
Why is it getting worse?
Because the ones running our government are not government. They are not governing. They are more interested in material gains. That's it. You see, the thing is that in life, you are going to get where God wants you to be. But people are in a hurry. And it's terrible. What are we going to say about the young ones today? The ones in school today who are not going to be there tomorrow anymore. These are the problems.
But someone will argue that all of these that we are having today, in terms of education, they are just like the seed. Okay? They are the fruits of the seed planted years ago. Even within this period that you would argue we had government in place.
I don't want to get into such arguments. I'll tell you what. I went to school in Nigeria. We had schools. To the extent that even your own nails, you're sure that they're clean. Your own nails, it's not their nails, your own nails. Hygiene is so important. About 2 years ago, there was COVID, and they were telling you, put this on your head. The things they used to tell us in primary school. That's where they were announcing. You say, where are we?
When you talk of where the cerebral ones are, you think of the southwest region of the country.
Obviously.
But today, do we still hold on to that as our glory?
We really can't.
We can't.
Because we lost it.
To who?
Oh, to ourselves by not knowing who we are. When your children are not even speaking your language. Do you know what I'm saying? All of the vegetables and all those things that we knew when we were young, we used to cook, they don't do it anymore. They are buying the food in the store. Canned food. Was that what God said we should do? Why did He give us all the vegetables? Most of the things for treatment, human treatment, disease, whatever, they are vegetables. They are plants. God gave us so much. God loves us, but we don't love God.
So you think the Yoruba race has lost its identity?
Oh yes, we have. If I'm telling you that, believe me, I'm the chairman of Yoruba Academy worldwide. We are in trouble. It's better for us to train our children and our grandchildren. I'm doing that for my children and my grandchildren.
Okay, so you talked of home training. It's one aspect of education that the Yorubas don't toy with. Before you present your words to teachers in schools, there is this place of home training. They believe you must mold them into what you want them to be. That seems not to be the case again, maybe because of the socioeconomic pressure.
What's this socioeconomic pressure? How can you be talking about the problems created outside this place and say that's your problem? It's not our problem. We created it.
These problems were not created within the shores of this country.
Most of them are not. What's your exchange rate today? What's your exchange rate? Dollar, naira. How can it be so? And you say, you know what is naira to dollar now? Is that fine? Is that fair? You know how much petrol and diesel we done about 2 months ago, 3 months ago? What are we talking about? Things are really bad. I say it's poverty, it's global. What is global? We are the problem. You see, the problem with us is us. You see, if you don't know something is wrong with you, you argue that you are not the one. Somebody else is causing it.
Many people believe the government is the problem.
And the government and us, we are the same. We have no government.
You know, when you say we don't have government in Nigeria, if the government should hear that, the government...
They hear it every time. And they know that I say it every time.
That there is no government.
There's no government. Where is government?
Sanwo-Olu is here as the governor of Lagos State. Buhari is there as the president of Nigeria.
To be a governor is different from being as a government. You understand?
What's the difference?
The difference is you can manipulate situations to suit yourself. That's the definition. The thing is that when you talk about government is what God, that's what God does. Loves people, provides for people. Ensure that when things are going wrong, there is provision for correction. That's governance. That's human beings. Where are the human beings now? You hear the name of governors, whatever, all these kind of names. We hear them. But that is the result.
Okay, so let's talk about what we have presently. We've talked about the past, those virtues we head on to. You've suggested we go back to them. Let's look at what it should be, or what it is. Let's look at what it is presently. For the past 5 months, students in tertiary institutions, they've been at home.
I was in the system for so long. I was part of ASU for so long. This thing is not just starting today, but we don't care about human beings. So, you see, if you want, we can push the problem to somebody else. It's very easy for us. If there is no water in the house, I will have to provide water in my house. If there is no electricity in this house, I will have to have a generator. I have to take care of my house. It's not everybody that can do that, but most people should be able to do that. But there must be somebody. That somebody is called government, who facilitates you doing it, Who facilitates what now? Create more traffic, create all of this. This things don't make sense. They don't make sense.
So,
But we are used to it.
whose fault that we are where we are? Because this morning, a particular headline in the Nigerian Tribune says parents are rising up against ASU, saying you're pushing your luck. Okay, we've supported you enough. So the parents feel ASU is the problem. The government will blame ASU. ASU will blame the government. What actually is going on? You've been in the system.
Yeah. You see, I gave an example of what a minister said 2-3 years after the thing that I said the students should do is what they are now doing.
Which is?
Take 2 courses in computer. The minister said, now, don't tell them that if they go to court, I said they won't win in court. Because I'm in local parenting. I'm their parents when they're at the university. You have to be their parents. You have to love them. You have to be able to sacrifice for them.
Is that all lecturers out there?
Huh?
Are you telling all lecturers out there to do this, to see these students as their children?
I told them for several years. Abba, I told them it's not new. That's not I'm saying that it's new. Again, the lecturers will make some sacrifice. The government, there must be government. Telling everybody there's no money when you spend all the money. If you have a headache, you fly abroad. And you say there's no money in Nigeria.
Now, some persons believe that the solution is for the federal government to, give autonomy, grant autonomy to universities. That will solve the problem.
It's beyond autonomy. The good. When we had the good times, we had federalism. We took decisions of what we wanted to do in our villages. Government must be as close to people as possible.
Is it too far from the people now?
Oh, there's no government. I said there's no government. And you are asking whether they are far.
Even local government.
You can call it local, but it's not local. The money is shared somewhere else. When you have your people representing you going to Abuja to take money that you spend in your village, and you say it's local government. Abba! Let's think about this matter.
So if I got you right,
yes, please.
This issue of restructuring affects education also.
Oh, definitely. Everything in this country. For 61 weeks, I wrote editorial on restructuring. That is to make sure when I say I wrote it, it's not me, Wale Omole. I'm saying as the chairman of the editorial board of Guardian newspaper with these 61 weeks. Who are we writing to? People are not reading. What are we talking about? When you now say you went to school and you said, okay, you want us, there are newspapers, and they are not reading. If they are reading, the money is going somewhere else. What are we talking about?
And yet we are educated. People are not reading. How will they now get information?
We are not that educated.
We are not educated.
No. I'm telling you. Quote Wale Omole said so.
That Nigerians are not educated.
No, because the things we need to do for ourselves, for our health, for our wealth, for our children, for training, for upbringing, we are not doing them. What's education? Education is the major source of development in the world. It's actually, you can say, only source of capacity building in the world. And we ignore it.
So what are we busy acquiring?
Nothing.
In our ivory towers?
Nonsense. I'm telling you, I'm saying it. I have no problem.
And someone will say you are indicting yourself because you've been in the system also.
I have been in the system, but I said it all the various years I've been there. It doesn't mean they will listen. I said when somebody was serving as minister, I was vice chancellor serving as minister. He said I shouldn't do it, and I said I would do it because the children are mine. The children are not his. I admitted them into my university.
Nigeria seems to be in dire need of solution now. The ASU strike has been extended by 4 weeks again, and so there seems not to be any solution in sight.
There is no solution. You understand? You see, the problem is that we are not serious human beings. We are not. We are not. And every day we move out and we spend a lot of time dancing. About what? Instead of crying. We are dancing. What are we celebrating? The generation of our children. See, these are issues. You see, they said that I was like part of ASU in those days. I was so much so. But again, I would tell my colleagues, no, let's do it. Even when I retired for several, when ASU was going to meet, I called them. Things are not good. Please, don't go on strike. And they obeyed my suggestion to them. Because our children are in school and things are not that good, don't look at these pennies and pitches and whatever. No. Look at the children. And they obeyed.
So are you suggesting that lecturers no longer show love to the students? That's why they are on this program.
Let me just say, you see the issue? I don't want to get into lecturers' issues. Argument. How much are they paid? What are we talking about? It's insulting. A lot of the lecturers, by the time, it's tough. It's so insulting. Spend so many years taking first degree, second degree, third degree, and then you are there getting nothing. And then we say lecturers should not complain. You mentioned the issue of, but you see, the problem is that government should love us, but government doesn't love us. Let's deceive ourselves. At every time something is wrong somewhere, it's always wrong somewhere, it's always wrong somewhere. I mentioned generator. I mentioned water. I mentioned water. Should in the land of waters, southwest, should we have all these problems? Do we think? We have no time to think.
Education seems to be on the concurrent legislative list, not even in the exclusive legislative list. So when you talked about the fact that restructuring will also affect education, I was wondering how it will play out.
You see, the thing is that, okay, let me just look at restructuring from education and instruction perspective. You must be able to draw your curriculum. You must know what you want to teach your children. Somebody is dictating for you what you're going to teach your children, and you said it is concurrent. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the issues. Your own children. We didn't create these children. God said, take care of them for us. You understand? We are not taking care of our own children. I can speak boldly because in this house, it's only Yoruba language. Unless you are a foreigner. And it's been working for me for years. We have a major problem called understanding. You understand? You understand? We don't even understand what is written in a lot of the books. We memorize. They told us to memorize where they came. And after that, we didn't correct it. So we are talking of curriculum. It is a shame. Actually, God is so kind to pardon us. Otherwise, we should be in serious trouble. We are, but again, God is pardoning us.
Talked about the fact that it's an aberration for the federal government to be drawing curriculum, even for states. So if I want to school at the Obafemi Awolowo University, for instance, because it's a federal government-owned tertiary institutions, institution rather. I can't help it. The federal government will design the
That's why we had a big problem. That university was Yoruba University. That's the problem. I had to fly from the US when I heard that it was going to be taken over by federal government. By the time I got, it was military period. By the time I got home, overnight, a decree came that it was a government thing to do. What is the government thing to do? University of Ife was designed for us.
for the Yorubas.
Yeah. Even a lot of the courses are, we were training people in Yoruba. We were teaching students. We were doing all of these things now. Great university.
So if you have your way, would you have federal government hands off this so-called?
If I have my way tomorrow, I must say something to you. I'm the chairman of the Academy of Ife. If I have it my way tomorrow, I will take it and run it. A lot of the schools, my secondary school, Ilesha Grammar School, I will run it. Because it will be good for our people. We can train them properly. They are not going to be begging for money. They are not going to be waiting for end of the month for somebody to go to Abuja to create the money.
So again, the federal government is holding on to too many things.
This is they don't understand. They lack understanding. These are issues.
Okay, so if Osun State government, for instance, takes over OAU, I'm using OAU as a case study because you are once there. Today, there is Osun State University owned by Osun State, and many of these states technically are insolvent. Where is the money? Education costs money, isn't it?
You see, the thing is this. Are insolvent because people create insolvency. You didn't know that you mentioned all kinds of schools in those days. You understand? We have modern school, we had all of this. The West knew what they can handle and they provided free education. The West people are Yoruba people.
I must say a big thank you to you, sir. Professor Wale Omole, thank you so much for your time on the program. My guests on the program today has been Professor Wale Omole. He's actually the man in charge of Yoruba Academy, and that speaks volume. He is a former vice chancellor at the famous Obafemi Awolowo University in Ife. He is also the chairman, Guardian newspaper